I would recommend trying to speak closer to your microphone at all times just because it's all around better. If you're close to your microphone, you're going to get lots of the bassy, low-end frequencies of the voice. The farther away you get, the less you're going to be able to pick up the lower frequencies because they don't travel as far. Welcome back to Oh My Pod. My name is Justin.
And I'm Celine.
And today we're going to go over some podcasting equipment, some of the best equipment in our opinions. And this is because we get a lot of questions about what type of equipment people should be buying and using when they're podcasting. And we thought that we'd create an episode that was very, very simple. So we're not going to go over a lot of options. We're just going to go over what we recommend to our clients, what we use, well, what Celine is using right now. And that'll be really simple and easy to follow. So this will be a relatively short episode, and it should just be straight to the point. Right? Yeah. So in terms of microphones, the number one microphone that we recommend is the Shure MV7, which is what Celine is using right now.
Yeah. I wonder if people ever hear the difference between mine and yours, other than like people that are actually audio engineers. That's always a big question. So do you think people can hear it? Because I can't hear it.
Well, my microphone is like twice the price, and
exactly.
I'm using the Shure MV7, I'm using the Shure SM7B, sorry.
Yeah,
which is like the industry standard for like higher level podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the MV7 does like 90% of the same thing for like half the price. Plus, it's easier to use because you can plug it in directly into your computer with a USB, and it comes in a package with a tripod that sits on your desk. You just plug it right into your computer, and then you plug your headphones right into the mic, and it's just like the easiest thing ever.
Yeah, it's so easy. Like even me that has like no idea about microphones and headphones or anything, I can use it no problem. And it's like so easy. That's why we recommend it to all of our clients, because you really don't need any kind of knowledge about these things to use this.
Totally. Yeah, exactly. And what do you think about actually using the microphone?
I think it's just so easy. There's no complications with it ever. You just plug it into your computer, and it just works. And it's so compact. It comes with a tripod, which I personally use the tripod that it comes with. Other people prefer to use something like Justin has. If you're watching the video,
stand.
Then you see that he has like a
swivel
arm.
stand.
Yeah, for the microphone. But I just used a tripod, and it works fine. And we travel around a lot. Like you can just put it in your suitcase, and you're good to go.
And there's also a software that comes along with it, which is super easy to download. And you just download it, and then it gives you options like if you want to be farther away from your microphone, like this. It'll calibrate using AI, I'm assuming, to calibrate to you being farther away. Whereas you can set it to close, or you can set it to far or set it to close. You can also set the tone from like dark to balanced to bright. So you can have different sounds. I mean, we just use balanced because we obviously edit the audio afterwards. And you can control the volume on that as well. And it's super easy to use because, I mean, it's Shure, and Shure is like, the Apple of microphones. So they're like the industry giants, So,
do you want to say what the difference is compared to yours and how much more goes into even just using your microphone, or is that something for another day?
Well, for people who know a little bit about audio already, my microphone needs an audio interface, which is essentially a separate little box that costs another, $200 plus if you're getting a really cheap one, $200 plus for a box that plugs into your computer. So it goes mic into the box, the audio interface, into the computer. And you don't have an option to actually just plug directly into the computer, which there's reasons for that, which I won't get into. But it does make it a lot more complicated and obviously more expensive because you have to buy the audio interface, and the mic itself is more expensive. And also...
The little guy?
Oh yeah, I also have another tool, but we won't talk about that. But
okay.
And then also the microphone is dynamic, and so the difference between dynamic and condenser, which is the other version of microphone, is essentially the condenser microphones are way more sensitive and they pick up a lot more background noise, but they do have usually like a richer and brighter quality to them. but the dynamic microphones are much more forgiving depending on the room that you're in. And so for podcasting, for people who don't have a professional studio, a dynamic microphone is going to be a lot easier to get better audio quality with. And the MV7 over there is a dynamic microphone. So I think it's the easiest one to use. I think it's like you just pull it out of the box, plug it in, and you can start recording your podcast.
Yeah.
But you will need a pair of headphones to go with it. And the headphones that we recommend are the same as these ones here that I have on. So I'm using the Audio-Technica M20 XS, and they are like $300 headphones. They're kind of like top of the line for producing music, mixing podcasts, all that stuff. But the one that you need to just like record your podcast with is pretty simple. They're called the M20 XS, and they're much less expensive. I think they're like $40 or $50. Those are the headphones I would recommend. Super simple. They're comfortable. They work great. And they're sort of the industry standard. You can always go up, like there's M30 XS, M40 XS, M50. So if you do want headphones, like, you know, I could also use these to listen to music with. I could bring them to the gym. So if you did want like better headphones, you can always go up. And then the only that's literally it. That's all you need when you use the Shure MV7, because you don't need the audio interface. So you just need the mic and headphones, and you're good to go. So that's all you would need, and that'll net you somewhere around like $350 to $400, depending on where where you're ordering from.
That's a CAD, right?
Canadian, yeah.
Yeah, that's CAD. So just to make that sure, that's Canadian dollars. That's not
USD.
So
that's like US is going to be somewhere around like 300 probably.
Yeah.
So super cost effective. The only other thing that you might want with the MV7 is some type of boom stand, like what I have here, like an arm, because depending on how high your desk is, if you try to put the tripod on your desk, like if I tried to use that tripod on my desk is like all the way down here, and so the tripod would have to like reach all the way up and then back towards me, and I just wouldn't be able to position myself in a nice way to use the microphone. And while I do know that there's the far setting on the MV7 that you can engage using the software, I would recommend trying to speak closer to your microphone at all times, just because it's all around better. If you're close to your microphone, you're going to get lots of the bassy, low-end frequencies of the voice. The farther away you get, the less you're going to be able to pick up the lower frequencies because they don't travel as far. And so you do want to stay closer to your mic. And for Celine, it works to have it on the desk, but if your desk is lower or it's in a weird position, you're going to want to get an arm stand that you can just like swivel around no matter where you are, like this, and you can move the mic around however you want. And that's going to make it like a lot easier to use your mic effectively. And man, if you're recording podcasts all the time, you want to have your mic in a comfortable spot and not have to worry about that.
Yeah. I was going to say, just try the tripod out first, because depending on how tall you are, how high your chair is and your desk, it might work, right?
Yeah, try it out. And if not, I recommend the Rode PSA1, which is this stand here. The reason why, and this is about $100, and the reason why I would go with this rather than the ones that are on Amazon for like $25 is because, oh my gosh, are those ever going to cause you a whole bunch of frustrated days, and like they break, and then they don't move the right way, and then they don't stick to the desk, and then things. So I would recommend just like investing in a reputable company like Rode and just buy a proper stand that's sturdy. It'll stick on your desk for 20 years. You'll never have to worry about it again. And that's what I did. But yeah, other than that, I think that's it for equipment. We can link everything down below. Yeah. And if you guys have any questions regarding podcasting that you want sort of elaborated on in an episode like this, we'd love to do a whole episode about your question and shout you out for the question. So you can always email us at ohmypod@podigypodcasts.com. Podigy Podcasts with an S, podigypodcasts.com. And you can reach out to us, and the email will also be in the show notes. And that is all I've got. What about you, Celine? Anything else?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, cool.
No, it's such an easy topic. People think it's so complicated, but it's actually like not.
Yeah, you don't have to go into it so much. You don't have to compare the pros and cons of 50 microphones.
No.
Just the other thing that I should mention about the mic is that I should have mentioned this earlier, but the MV7 will actually be it'll be good enough that if you end up taking your podcast to the next level, you won't need to buy an upgrade. Whereas if you start with a microphone that's very, very cheap, you may end up wanting to upgrade later down the road. But the MV7 will last you forever. It'll last you the whole trip, the whole journey.
Yeah, that you will never need to change that.
No, You don't
Never.
need this mic. The only reason I bought the Shure SM7B over Celine's microphone is because I also use my microphone for recording my vocals for music. But anyways, thank you for listening, and we will see you next week for another episode of Oh My Pod.
Thanks. Bye.